went to school at Montana Tech, which is another incubator, if you will, for studying natural mine drainage. And so that's where I kind of got my start. And so I want to talk to you guys about some of the passive treatment pilot studies that we've done on some of the remote sites that we have in Montana, also that are on Superfund in, say, California, Oregon, and whatnot. And I tell you some of the lessons learned here so that maybe we can start pushing passive treatment technologies to the next level. I wanted to start with this because we think passive treatment and like, oh, that's going to be really cool, it's going to fix all our problems. Anytime you have mine water, you've got metals in it, metals are elements, right? They don't go anywhere, you're just moving them from one place to another, so keep that in mind. The same problems that you have with an active treatment plant that's making sludge, you're going to have in a passive treatment system. This big picture of why we're all here, we've got adit discharges in remote locations, screwing up our water quality, right? One of the things we've learned on a lot of the projects in Montana is we remove a lot of waste rock, try and clean up the water. You need the adit discharge alone, because we don't really know what to do about the adit discharge now, do we? And we're not seeing improvements in water quality, right? So we have to start dealing with these adits. That's a very good point. You obviously can't build a lime treatment plant everywhere, and so ergo we're trying to figure out better ways to deal with these and actually start improving water quality in these sites. This picture is up at the Parker Houseville site, and it's southeast of Great Falls, where, you know, you guys aren't the only ones with ugly creeks, so. Briefly go over this biochemical reactor technology. I know a lot of you probably know the fundamentals, but really what I want you to take away from this is that the sulfide precipitation reaction that you're facilitating in a biochemical reactor, it's almost think of it as a fundamental piece of the tools in your water treatment toolkit. You've got the lime treatment plant, which is adding chemicals to things. This is a reaction you can leverage in a treatment system in whatever shape you want that to be. You can get this to work. Good things are probably going to happen for your water quality in the end of your treatment system. Okay? I was on the ITRC group, and that is a interstate panel of scientists from consulting, government agencies, practitioners, whatnot, and there's guidance out there on what we were kind of collaborating on, what are the best practices for putting together a biochemical reactor to treat mine water. So it's an engineered treatment system, so that's important, right? You actually are putting a lot of thought into the steps of this process. You're using an organic substrate, which is an electron donor, to drive your microbial and chemical reactions to reduce the concentrations of metals, acidity, sulfate, either mining influenced water or, what was it? No. What was Dan's this morning, mining? Insalted water, right? You can use the same acronym, mining insalted water. When I talk to people who are like, well, what are you working with anyway? And I said, well, what is one of those biochemical reactors things? I said, well, you know what it really is doing is you're using the water that's there, the ingredients are there, you're reversing the process from where you liberated metals in the first place. So I say, well, it's this anaerobic process, it's stinky, you're making sulfide, so you're putting those metals back into the dark netherworld from where they came from. So, and that kind of seems to click with me. Another big point on the bottom here is if you get the sulfide precipitation reactor to work, you're going to start meeting strict regulatory limits, and that's key. Links through this pretty good. One of the other nice things about a biochemical reactor is you've got the ingredients for the most part in the water itself, plus your substrates can be as varied as your environment. You can use a lot of different things that you have readily available. So perhaps on the East Coast where you're harvesting crab, you can use crab shells in the bioreactor. Here, the compost and manure and wood chip reactor, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer for a place like Montana or Colorado, right? You can also start playing with the reaction kinetics of the bioreactor, because this is an engineered system after all. And so maybe you can start giving the bugs a little bit of food, like ethanol, or propylene glycol, some other things. Give them a little easier time of metabolizing things, and you can speed up your reaction rate. If you've got a faster reaction rate, you can build a smaller reactor. Think about the different knobs you can turn in the system, right? Yeah, so these are also up at Parker Hughesville. This site is actually the one that Dan mentioned this morning that we worked on in Montana. We're mixing up compost and manure here in and that is me coming in with the next bucket of compost. And that was probably about 2 minutes before I got fed up with the hand tools. Got on my hands and knees and started kneading manure into the we all did. It's not very good at the end of the day. So, I also want to point out what it is not. So we're trying to further the field here in practice, right? It is not just so-called, wetland treatment, right? What I see a lot is we're going to say, we'll just put the adit and direct it to that wetland over there and everything's going to be fine. Maybe, but if you're in Superfund, that's not going to work. That's not going to cut it. It's not just a pond filled with limestone, although that could be a step in your treatment process. You could use something like that, but it's probably also not going to get you where you need to be towards the regulatory limits. It's not just putting the water into a box filled with somebody's magic stuff. The rest, okay? You need to know what the processes are and what each step of the way and what to expect and design them with actual, reaction kinetics and whatnot. Another thing, biochemical reactor, as we said, it's a stinky process, an anaerobic process, therefore it's not standalone, okay? You're going to need probably some pre-treatment on the front end. If the water quality is, depending on how much sludge is being made, you don't want that going into your bioreactor and clogging it up right away. On the other side, you need some post-treatment. So you've got to re-aerate that water. You can't put BOD-rich, nutrient-rich, deoxygenated water straight into the creek. Fish don't like that either, right? So you have to think of it as just one of the steps of your entire process. Another key point here, it's not zero maintenance. They're lower maintenance, but they're not zero maintenance, okay? Somebody's going to have to go out there and do something with them. And it's also not zero sludge. So keep reiterating sludge here. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience in these sites and working under the Superfund program and trying to move some of these forward. And one of the things is that when you've got a lot of flexibility in the treatability study phase, which is the feasibility for treatability studies, right? The pilot studies. But once you get down to the brass tacks of trying to actually make a decision and decide what the remedy is going to be, you got to step it up a lot. Okay? You're going to have to meet the threshold criteria. Every remedy has to meet this of protection of human health and the environment. Okay? So if you're weighing lime treatment against your passive treatment system, you're going to be looking at things like effectiveness, implementability, cost, right? Well, biochemical reactors probably don't win, but things that are going to cheer me up are your effectiveness and perhaps implementability. This effectiveness key here is that often you're having to meet aquatic life standard. Now, I'll pause there because that's very state specific. In this basin, you're going to have a lot more leeway, it sounds like, because you have a high background. That is not the case in all of these mine sites. So we're having to try to treat down to what you would call in Colorado table value standards, right? You're trying to hit the strictest part per billion type stuff. And it's a challenge because you're trying to take some of these mine waters and take that concentration and reduce it by like 3 orders of magnitude or more. So part per billion levels. Okay.
Here we go. How's that? I just did it for you.
Okay. So again, getting to that final decision of we're going to commit to a biochemical reactor or another treatment technology under a superfund is a tough process, especially for these little den mine drainages or big ones for that matter. A lot of times you have almost no information on what's going on underground. I call it the internal plumbing of the mountain and what's causing that, right? And so that makes sense. We've discussed before with robot entries. They're very costly to try to open up an entry. You can't put people in there very well to inspect them. And that's just to try to do even maybe source control or put some stabilization in there. And all of this happens even before you're trying to do some kind of water treatment. You get in there and say you try some source control things. Well, there's a lot of uncertainty with that too, with a lot of unknowns. As you know, the bulkheads, maybe you bulkheaded something, tried to stop something, well now the water's popping out somewhere else. Or maybe you plugged a shaft over here, and it just really didn't have an effect on the water coming out of the mine because for all you know, that feature over here that you thought was connected, it really isn't connected to the stuff that's generating the acid buried on this other side of the mine. So there's a high cost up front with real uncertain effectiveness, which also gives pause. So, I'm probably speaking to the choir here, but it's really a challenge here. I keep clicking it twice. This is a good example from right outside of Helena, at the Creek site, where understanding the plumbing of your mountain and your adit discharge is critical, right? These two mines, it's the Upper Valley Forge, which discharges to the Susie adit, is one mine, and then just across the canyon is the mountain mine. And they have really similar water quality and flow rates, but you've got this one that's a drain for the whole mountain, and so its variability and fluctuations are pretty even keel. So if you were only to do a treatability study on this one, yeah, I got this dialed in. You try it on this other mountain. This mountain is Swiss cheese, and it's just across the way. And every time it rains, you're going to get a flush of metals and acidity. And if you didn't know this, your treatment system's going to fail. Another point here too, notice the date on these workings maps. Sometimes that's the best information you have, if at all. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit now that I kind of set the framework of what we're working in, and talk about some of the treatability studies that we implemented and some of the lessons learned, with the hopes that maybe it will spark some ideas or put a little cautionary voice in your head of, well, wait, if I'm going to do this, did I think about X? And I'm not going to talk about all the different things that we've run into, but what I really think the challenge is here is, we've got biochemical reactor technology down pat in the lab. We've got studies everywhere. What you need to do is you need to take it to how do you really implement this on the ground, in the field, in a way that is reliable to meet standards to get buy-off and say like CERCLA and also start making them more sophisticated. So you're not just throwing the box out in the forest and hoping for the best, right? So I'm going to go through some of these. These are not a comprehensive list. I don't have time for a full list. I could probably talk all afternoon on some of the things that we've learned. But these are some of the big ones. First I got around to, that I alluded to a little bit earlier, was understanding and designing around the variability of your mine water. You've got to know your mine water. Things that are going to kill your biochemical reactor, metal and acidity overloading that you didn't know about, extra oxygen coming in, because all of a sudden the water is more turbid and constipated and flowing through faster. It's an anaerobic process. You just killed all your bugs. Okay? So that's a big one. The hydraulics. This is a place where I think we can really start trying to innovate, is taking some people who run water treatment plants, who built water treatment plants, who move water, those people, get them together with the people who know the chemistry now and say, how can you make this thing work? How can you make water flow where I want it to flow, right? What tricks do you have, for doing this, right? And then the last thing is thinking for the long term, is designing these things for long-term maintenance and working that into an on-the-ground design. So this is a graph. This is from the Barker-Hughesville district up in Montana. This is from 2013. And actually, this graph, and knowing what happens here is, this was a real game changer for us. We had a little creek up there that is mostly adit discharge. And we were able to get up there as soon as possible, so really early in the season for Montana, earlier than we ever had been. We set up a game camera and a data collector for pH, conductivity, and whatnot. And, said, what's it going to look like when spring runoff happens, right? And so early on here, right when we started, things were kind of okay. And then everything, all the ice and everything started to melt, and all of the water started flushing through those adits. And our pH crashed to below 4, and not for just one, for a day or two, this is for like weeks, okay? And so this is getting into a chronic survivability condition, right? So for fish, but also for your bugs, okay? But if you came back in your typical time of the year, June, you would not have seen this. You're back up around pH of 6 and 7, and we also have zinc on here. Zinc is, this graph here. You would have designed around zinc for this concentration, this pH, but really you need to be designing around low pH and really high zinc concentrations, right? This graph is one of the reasons we had Rory, when we first were talking early on the project, we said, hey, you know what we need to do? We need to get monitors on every adit now. We can start taking this data. This is one of the reasons why. An example of how we show up. We see our focus to this phenomenon. We had this site in California, their site, and we had a different series of them with different barrels, different substrates. But along here, you got precipitation come on. Once it started to rain, this is the input concentration here. This is the concentrations coming out of our reactors. So taking 10,000 parts zinc down to around 10. And once this rained, we killed off a bunch of our bioreactors. And guess what? They never recovered. The other ones had a little bit more pre-treatment involved and a little extra help that were designed, with a little bit more care in mind. We saw a little bit of a degradation in performance, but then they started to recover. So, the hydraulics. This is one of the biggest problems, is dealing with sludge in these systems in a place where you're wanting to run by itself and not clog. So that is one of the ways we can innovate as well. So one of the things we've tried doing is pre-treatment, trying to get sludge to come out where we want it to, in a place where we can get to it, so it doesn't go into the bioreactor and clog everything up. Another thing, other challenges, making sure you have enough space and elevation drop to get across, to get through all of the treatment train steps that they were talking about. Maybe you need to have a bypass for high flow, or maybe that stream next door is going to try to encroach on your bioreactor space. You know, you got to keep in mind all that, because it can take out your PCR program, or PCR treatment train. I didn't get into anything about cold weather, because I don't think I needed to here. But you do need to protect not just the PCR, but also all of your plumbing, which usually means burying pipes. And one of the things we run into is you run into shallow bedrock. It really screws up trying to align your plumbing, right? So it's the takeaway from this slide too. Keep this in the back of your mind. If you can't get water into your reactor because it clogs or water or pipe breaks or what have you, if you're not getting water into your reactor, it's not getting treated, right? It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised. And finally, designing for maintenance and safety. Thinking ahead to how in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how am I going to get a little excavator to this site and clean out this sludge? What am I going to do when I need to rehab the BCR, change out the media? Do I need to build parallel systems so that I can take one entirely offline and rehab the other? For example, also think about where you're putting your valves, where you're putting cleanouts, things like that. Are they accessible? Are they safe? Can somebody lift them? Can somebody turn them on? Biggest thing is who under CERCLA is going to be responsible for it long term. It's probably not going to be, it's a funding thing, it's not going to be EPA, it's probably going to be the state. So you got to get them on board and happy with the design and get agreement from them. So with that, if you remember nothing else from this, protect the BCR because it's full of living things, they're bugs, they don't like to be killed by things that the mines are going to throw at them. And then secondly, hydraulics, reactor, you know, everyone's not working so well. Anyway,